Okay, we're gonna need some printer paper, some light colored fabric, some dye fixative or vinegar, a spray bottle with fine mist setting, some sharp things. First, we're gonna cut our light colored fabric down to the same size as our 8.5 by 11 inch printer paper. We're gonna do the same thing with our freezer paper. We're gonna cut it down to the same size as our printer page size, so 8.5 by 11 inches. And once that's complete, we will take it over to our iron. I have my iron set to a cotton setting, so it's one of the highest, and we're basically just going to press the freezer paper, the shiny side, towards the light colored fabric until it sticks. And it needs to stick really well, so make sure that you iron until it's stuck almost completely. Once that's done, you can pop it into your printer and you can print your customized labels. Now, if you did not iron it well enough to that freezer paper, it will get stuck in your printer, as you can see what happened to me. So I had to try again. I did it again and it worked out just fine. So next, you're going to heat set that ink. Just use the same cotton setting that you have on your iron. You can now cut this down to size, whether it's in triangles or circles or longer tags, whatever custom tags you printed out. After that, we're going to very finely mist our custom labels with the dye fixative. The first one I have here is the RIT dye fixative. Do not soak it. If you soak it, then the dye will kind of spread and it will pool, and you'll see what I mean. So just very finely mist it until it's kind of covered most of the label. I've also done it here with vinegar, which I heard can also be used as a dye fixative, so I wanted to try it as well. So this is with the same thing, it's just with vinegar, very finely misted over the top. You're going to let those air dry, and then you will again heat set it with an iron. Okay, I washed all of these labels. I like to wash my labels before actually attaching them to my quilt. I wash them on cold, delicate cycle just with a normal load of laundry. And usually I'll pin them together so that they don't get too frayed or anything like that. Although you can attach fray check to all of the edges before doing this. You can see how they turned out. They turned out really well. So I think the label that turned out the best was probably the one that used the RIT dye fixative, and I would say the vinegar was a really close second. So if you don't want to go out and buy RIT dye fixative, you don't have to. I honestly think the vinegar worked almost just as well. And then it's ready to be attached to your quilt. So you can attach fray check to the edges, or you can hem it. Either one is totally fine. And then I usually like to attach mine into the binding. So I know that this quilt is already bound, but if it wasn't, I would just slip that label right in the edge there and then complete the binding, and it's really nice. I will go back through and usually whip stitch part of it just to make sure that it's secure. So that is how you make customized quilt labels, and they turned out so beautiful. I love them. I love how custom they are. I love how they can commemorate a quilt, and they provide kind of the context to your quilt, which is so lovely. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I'm happy to help.